Alright guys, we are back for the next game and the last game of the night. It is going to go ahead and be Icebreakers against the Flytlez Gamers Club. So after a bit of mix up on when these guys are playing and who they were playing and what time they are playing their game, we are finally here. Just a 2-minute delay separating us from the match. But some interesting picks and bans coming out here. The first Fiora that we're going to go ahead and see in NGG as well as it is the first Jarvan, the first Rise for this tournament here.
Yeah, not first NGG all time.
Yeah, not NGG all time, but just for this tournament here. Vayne and Braum, something we've seen consistently before. Same with Jinx, Nautilus, Diana, Lee Sin. Malphite, a little bit different here, but we're going to go ahead and see how this one goes as we're getting ahead. It's just a minute and a half left basically now until we go ahead and get into these matches here. And we'll have our bracket rounded out for next week as well. So,
yeah, we're sorry about the delay, guys. Had some stuff to take care of. But yeah, we're back here. So, talk a little bit about these team comps, I guess. Looking into it, or you can give me a little background on the teams because like I don't really know much from the
yeah, well,
from what happened the first week really. So
yeah, so what happened first week is Icebreakers came out and they played against 0 Hour Esports, so we just saw
yeah 0 Hour
going wild.
Yeah, okay.
And Icebreakers completely dominated 0 Hour. I mean, took them over, and pretty much became the consensus pick that they're going to be the team that comes out and possibly even wins the entire thing. I had been saying so. Project Panda, the caster who cast with us last week, has been saying so. And a lot of the other teams have been saying it's Icebreakers tournament to go ahead and win here.
They are a great team. Like, Dave Mon's arguably the second best mid laner in NGG. He's been around for a little while. He's like, we've been doing this since, for a long time.
About 2 years now, yeah.
Yeah, so we've gone through a lot of mid laners, but Dave Mon has definitely been one of the those top class ones, like kind of like right behind Mark Boots. And Mark Boots said it himself, he even knows how to lane, effectively, unlike most NGG mid laners, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be really tricky, but then you go to the opposite side. Flytless Gamers have came in doing pretty well. We saw Ivier when he was with Vandal Gaming Red last season for a little bit as well.
Yeah, and honestly, Ivier wasn't, I think it was just a poor team. Vandal Gaming Red just wasn't really, they had so many roster swaps and issues going on, it just wasn't really working out for them. I do think Ivier's a pretty good player, just who's on a bad team there. I mean, he's climbed to Diamond 2, I believe, is what it was. So I mean, he's definitely got potential and talent, but just hoping that he can work it out with his team.
Yeah, he put it together a little bit last week. They took on Yorda's Going Wild, and that was a really crazy back and forth game. One team did poorly, the other team did poorly, the one team did poorly, one made a mistake. So it was a matter of who could make the mistakes the least, and Yorda's Going Wild made the last pivotal mistake. And speaking of Ivier, he did the best on his team, went 8-2 on a Diana in the mid lane. He got it again. Yeah, this game he's got it again. So we're gonna go ahead and start to load in and see a peek at that screen. But so they ended up winning the game with the gold, or no, they had a gold lead, but they had a kill deficit. They were down a couple kills on Yorda's Going On, but they were able to pull it back in. And so obviously this is still in the upper bracket tier here.
Yeah.
And the team that wins this one takes on New Generations Gaming in the upper bracket finals. So the bracket is going to be updated pretty soon on our website. I'll actually go ahead and do it now as we load into the screen here. But it's kind of, the bracket's kind of shaping out here. We're going places and we're starting to kind of figure out who's going where and all that kind of stuff after the wins that we've seen tonight. And we're getting to that point now where we're finally
figuring out.
We're starting to weed out some of the lower tier teams, and it sounds weird calling Yorda's Gone Wild and Supernova some lower tier teams, but
it's different when you transition from doing season style tournaments to small time invitationals that are like double elimination, because I mean 2 games is a very small sample size for Yorda's Gone Wild, even though we use that as an example. We've had Yordles playing with us for quite some time, and I mean we know like they've had lineups in the past that have been really good. It's just this current roster they have going with, I just don't think it's really, they're not gelling together. It's not the same as it used to be. I mean, and sometimes you have those periods where you have to, break the roster down, rebuild, but I don't know how they're gonna do that for next tournament, if there is one, or if they're even going to compete. So
yeah, so we are in this match now, so we'll focus on the current Icebreakers and Flytless Gamers. Going to be running at each other. Also interesting to note, Dave Mon opting not to bring teleport on his Rise in the mid lane, which is interestingly and weirdly enough that he's bringing Rise to the mid lane, as he is wearing that beautiful Triumphant Rise skin. But Ivier and Malphite, or the Earth, both have their teleports. You're All Bad,
Okay.
also formerly known as TDG Cody, has his TP as well. So could see some action across the map, but we'll see. This is our now third invade. Yeah, the third invade in a row that we've seen from teams here in NGG, and we'll see if they can make anything from this one.
Yeah, so the Ghost on Rise is strictly just for, I mean, if he has teleport, obviously he has that map control, but going with the Ghost means he wants a lot more of that more mobility, and, usually it's more to get aggressive, especially with your Absolute Power ultimate.
Yeah.
You use that and use Ghost, you pretty much can kite super effectively. Flash is more of your offensive, whereas Ghost is your more aggressive, so by taking Ghost, he's definitely saying, hey, I want to play aggressive this game. I don't want to just sit back and then wait and teleport bot and do a 4v5 down there or anything like that. He wants to plus with creating picks and everything it's a really solid summoner spell for Rise. It's just better in general to take that. I've seen a while ago back when I was playing, there was people that would run Ziggs and you'd run Ghost too, just because it's good to be able to kite effectively and make sure that you're safe without having to burn Flash. You can use Ghost and as long as you're staying, alive and everything, you could keep Flash for, better opportunity. Just having double mobility summoner spells when you're already a champion that's going to be ridiculous late game anyways.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
provides so much utility for you. So.
And it's going to be interesting also to kind of see how it's going to go in the mid lane against Diana and against Rise. Both those guys get such a big power spike that just when it hits really hard.
Yeah.
And to see those two having to go head to head should be interesting enough to see. Jacksmith and Blood Moon Chain here in the bottom lane. Again, Blood Moon Chain is a sub. He lost, Icebreakers lost all their bans to pull Blood Moon in instead of the normal sub Bubble Vicious. So it's going to stink that we're not seeing Icebreakers at their full strength against another really promising team here. But that's what your substitutes are for, and that makes a good team.
Good
Flash already forced from Vieira there in the mid lane. It's a good level 2 gang from Rambo to get that pressure going on in the mid lane there from Dave Mon and he. And Diana doesn't really have any natural escapes. That could be a bit of an issue. We might see Ramu back there pretty quickly. Yeah,
Lee Sin and Duke Drow will have to be, around. And it was a good idea by URL Bad to actually tank most of those jungle creeps to help Ramu stay as healthy as possible, so that gank in the mid lane, was a lot more of more likely to actually net something. Plus, URL Bad's just going to teleport back anyway, so.
Exactly, and just continuing to go on Earth there. Fiora is such a difficult champion to play against now, and so frustrating at the exact same time, and it's almost like a mini game half the time when you're playing with her of hit this side, hit that side, or whatever the case may be. But you can't doubt how strong she's gotten now. We've seen her take off people in Worlds recently, and even in just other random games here and there, she's just so strong as he continues to try to apply pressure on Earth here in the top lane. But if you're going to pick somebody into that, why not pick Malphite, one of the best tanks to just build straight armor on? Let's see how effective that's going to be. We actually have Ramu heading up towards the top lane here, but it's spotted out pretty quickly by that ward from the Earth. So they'll back away, they'll ping him out, and that allows bottom lane to be a little bit more aggressive, and Duke Drow to be more aggressive here with maybe a gank towards the mid lane from the back. I'm not going to go for it, though. But he could catch Dave Mon out of position here. Dave Mon, of course, like we've already talked about, has those two summoners supposed to get escape from anything if need be.
And he is playing really aggressive. He's doing really well harassing.
Yeah, there is the gank. Duke Drow going to come in on this one. The damage comes in. Davemon still has not flashed away from this one and will not. Ends up getting that kill. There's the damage. This is what we talked about. Javier doesn't have an escape. Will be able to just walk away from Ramu. The first blood goes over to Duke Drow. Or excuse me, not to Duke Drow, to Vieira.
Got it.
Vieira actually got first blood.
Vieira got it, and then Davemon got the kill after.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. The tower ended up finishing off Duke Drow, but not before Davemon fell for first blood. Didn't use the summoner spell to get away from that one as he went for that kill, and got it, but just a second too late.
Yeah.
So well execution there by Duke Drow and Vieira to get that kill, and to get, to get Vieira kind of started up a little bit here.
Yeah, Davemon had probably in the back of his mind the idea, maybe should I flash or should I not? He was probably just thinking, no, I'll keep both summoner spells, and then he realized, okay, they're really going on this, might as well just try to blow somebody up instead of waste a spell, because there's always a possibility of like an ignite tick, or actually they don't have ignite, but, like just some extra damage coming in.
Yeah. I almost might have been thinking, too, I can get that first blood. Just, like I said, just missed it by that half second as we saw. So, unfortunately for him, it didn't go that well. But he still did get a kill out of it, so it could have gone significantly worse. But now we'll see how this is going to affect him in the mid lane. Still keeping up in form with Vieira there, 29 and 29. As we look around at the rest of the map, it looks to be pretty similar to everybody else. Top lane the same as his jungle and the AD carry position. You are all bad. He's going to back away from that. Earth bullying him pretty well there, but he's completely out of mana, so that's going to... One of Malphite's flaws there is he doesn't have that much mana to go ahead and work with, unfortunately.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the bot lane that much because it's not important. Shots fired. But mid lane focus is pretty real because I feel like both these mid laners can carry this team, but it just depends on who gets that stronger start. And you know they're going to try to camp Ryze and prevent Ryze from getting very far in this game. I mean, I like the Malphite pick against Fiora because Malphite generally is just a strong laner in the early levels.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty weak in as far as mana goes, and then eventually in the late game, scaling. I mean, he still has the ultimate, but Fiora will probably start out trade pretty soon, unless the Earth keeps stacking that armor.
Yeah, Ramu back to mid, by the way, on the VR, doing a lot of damage to him just from the knowledge that his flash chill isn't available.
Yeah.
Dave Mon and Ramu doing a pretty good job of keeping VR down as best as they can, but he's still really doing well on the farm. Obviously, as you can see, the first thing he backed for, he went to go ahead. Yeah.
Negatron Cloak.
Yeah, Negatron Cloak can help out a lot against Dave Mon before Dave Mon can get a scaling going. And we've seen him, he went for the Abyssal Scepter last time that he played Diana. So...
Yeah, I don't know if that goes to show that he's, just scared of these, ganks and the damage from Dave Mon, or if he's just feels like that's the better option instead of getting damage to actually try to, trade with them. I feel like maybe they could possibly win 2v2s if Lee Sin was a little stronger, perhaps, but they'd have to play them out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
So
now
the
with the Earth
Earth
being
just
back,
tanking the entire minion wave and just there's nothing really Fiora can do. So
yeah, just
and
happy to go
rush
ahead and do
those
it.
tabbies as
Yeah,
well.
I was about to say, just rush his name with tabby. He's got some mana there. Dutro's going to come in here on Davon. Davon still has his abilities. He got to flash away from that one. We'll be able to avoid the rest of the gank and the damage from there, but had to burn that summoner spell, so it's a good thing he didn't do that earlier. I'll be able to escape from that one for free.
Yeah, so the Earth's probably going to go with Frozen Heart as well after, as soon as, he finished tabbies first. As soon as he gets enough gold to grab Frozen Heart, I'm assuming that's probably the best bet going up against Fiora. Plus, there's also a Vayne on that team,
Exactly.
so would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's probably the best pickup to go with.
Well, especially on Malphite. Malphite just, there's certain champions that Frozen Heart is just good on.
Yeah, and Malphite's absolutely one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like he actually might be... Oh, no, I thought maybe he'd disconnected something, but yeah, but the extra armor, the extra mana, the attack speed reduction, just there's nothing to go wrong with that on a Malphite, and so it's always... That's why whenever I'm playing Malphite, I love playing against a heavy ID team, just because you can stack the armor, it works so well with your passive, and it's not even a strain half the time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna crit me? Big deal.
Yeah. Oh, look, you broke my passive shit.
Oh, hurts.
Exactly. So you can just see that he's just happy to do this, but you're all bad. He became... It was TDG Cody. He switched to top lane.
Like everybody else.
Yeah, and he's become this super aggressive, hyper carry top lane now.
Yeah,
so
it fits his
style.
AD carry style, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of...
Well, in this lane, there's not really much he can do aside from turn it out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's getting bullied pretty heavily right now. It's not very often that you say Malphite's dominating his lane opponent, but you can actually see that here. Actually going to go for some aggression here on Earth.
Yeah, he was
there.
actually trading pretty well.
Oh, he's actually going to go ahead and... Ooh.
Yeah, he just couldn't get all
Missed
those...
the last quadrant there, so Earth will be able to get away from that one. And that was a flash burn from your all bad, just to get that extra damage down, so now not able to do that successfully. But yeah, he has bullied him down quite a bit here. He's going to continue to go on to this one. There's no jungle support in the area for either of these guys, by the way.
Wet noodle fight.
Oh, not necessarily anymore. Earth is going to go ahead and use his ultimate there. The Unstoppable Force comes in. But neither of those guys have any mana or any health. Be surprised if they stuck around for long. Both have their teleport available too, by the way. So they might decide to go ahead and back away and then repeat that argument. Look at this minion wave coming down the bottom wave here for Draximus and Red Moon. They're going to go ahead and take a lead in the CS department here after all this, it looks like.
Yeah, Draximus has been holding a small lead for the majority of the game in that bot lane. But 90 CS at Vayne at 10 minutes, that is ridiculously good.
Yeah, and not to mention that it doesn't feel like Jibs or Sloppy Stupid's really bullying or trying to get onto him at all.
Yeah.
He's kind of letting stand back, letting Draximus play his game, letting Draximus farm up. He's almost got his Blade of the Ruin King, and then it's going to get to that point where Vayne gets a little bit scary and can just kind of duel anybody, but...
Well, you could probably argue, though, that they want the same for Jinx. They just want to farm and scale. Maybe they have a plan for Vayne, in the future. They just don't want don't want to do anything stupid. Maybe try to force a fight that's not needed and end up throwing their game because like Jinx late game still incredibly strong too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, now with that happening, Dragon was picked up. Davemon was seen getting blue buff with Ramu, so they need to go ahead and get Dragon to be safe. So they'll pick up the first one of this match. You're all bad. Going to use the ultimate again onto the Earth. Going to go ahead and get past 2 areas, but will he be able to get the rest of them? No, he won't be able to. So we'll just back away from that one again. So in another ineffective Fiora ult, but it's all a matter of continuing to trade and try to push the Earth out of lane, which he's been very ineffective with so far. The Ninja Tabby and the Bombi Sin are doing work.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of lane.
Yeah. Duke trying to apply some pressure here in the bottom lane. I think he might have just been seen popping out of that bush. Not 100% sure, but Draximus and Blood Moon Chain are just content to hang out down here and farm this one out for as long as possible. They're up over 10 minions now with these waves pushing in their favor here.
Like, I understand the concern to maybe help bot out to try to get, Jinx, Roland, and Vayne halted, sort of, but, well, actually, before we got the action going everywhere. Right?
Yeah, there we go. Earth is going to go ahead on to Davemon. Use the Unstoppable Force. Davemon doesn't have his flash available. He uses Ghost to try to get away, but it's not going to be enough. Damage coming down on the Jaximus. He's going to slap him into the wall. But nothing else to come of that. So we'll back away from that one pretty quickly. Good attempt by Ramu, but he has been pretty unsuccessful so far with this gang. He's 0-0-0. And he's trying to get down here a couple times. On the opposite side, Duke is now 0-1-1. Obviously involved in the gank for first blood and another gank there in the middle lane as well. So Duke being a little bit more effective than Ramu so far here.
It was that death though. But the thing is, as long as Jarvan's continuously farming, which he is, he's gonna be pretty relevant. He has the Sight Stone too, so he's trying to keep vision. But yeah, right now, Duke counter jungling and Ivy are roaming down.
Yeah, well, they actually know he's here, so they might see if they can go ahead and get some damage down onto him. They will decide to engage this one just a bit. Davemon actually going to pop the ult. Ramu decided not to go on that one. I see why. He's out of mana. Good flash at the last moment there. We'll get him away. Davemon not going to get away from this one. He has his flash, but that'd be a waste of it if he decided to use it. Blood Moon Chain's in a bad spot. Whole flash, and then just go ahead and jump to his teammate, Draximus.
Nice.
Yeah, good way to get out of there, but that's going to leave mid lane wide open here. And there's the rotation coming in from Flytlez gamers to see if they can go ahead and take this tower and pick up their first tower of the game. And they will be able to. It's already low enough. VR put some good damage on it. They might even decide to go for 2 here if they want. There's no reaction just yet from anybody.
They could have got some decent damage on it, but they're just going to go back away and then defend their own, because bot lane is eventually going to start pushing pretty heavy. So
Draximus and Blood Moon recognizing they're not sure where anybody is, too. Good time to recall, too. They'll actually end up seeing VR. Oh, they're actually just going to stop him with the ultimate there. Oh, that's going to be bad news for Draximus here. The damage comes out. He's going to condemn him away. Use the ultimate as well.
Oh, good flash.
Yeah, we'll be able to flash to get away from that one. Good combination there. I thought that they were just going to be gone, but Jib's using his Super Mega Death Rocket to stop the recall.
Yeah.
Is going to allow them to get some damage on this bottom tower as well. Nothing even in the vicinity to try to help stop.
They might just to take it.
Yeah, they just want to get rid of it.
It's actually a really strong play. Burning that ult, and then, I mean, that was all that ward in that brush. Was able to spot out Draximus, and then, boom. It's pretty easy.
Well, that's their second tower of the game after they get the first
counter push mid, though.
Yeah, counter push is going to come in mid. Will they be able to
Here
get in
comes the
time is
rock,
the question. Yep, Earth is on his way. He does have all of his abilities. He's going to use it. That's weird. Ramu's just as confused as we are, but happy that he's not stuck there. He'll be able to get away from that.
Showing
as awkward as it was.
Bangkok Titans. Showing that TT1.
SKT.
Yeah, the Earth is like really, really strong right now. That's the thing with Malphite. Like if you're ahead, you're a force to be reckoned with, but if you're behind, you're literally nothing. I mean, there's a lot of champions that are like that, but with Malphite, it's like, what's the word? It's almost like emphasized, or it's like exemplified, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like just the multiplier is ridiculous.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah, exactly. You're either good or you're crap.
Yeah. Well, Ramu might be crapped on right here. He's trying to run. VR has the ultimate charge available, but no vision. Again, you're all bad. Still up here in the top lane. He's going to try to go on Earth a bit. Some damage coming back on him, but you're all bad. He's going to take it right back, or continue to go back on Earth here. The Bombi Sin are doing some damage to him, just AoE-wise right now. But you're all bad. Still just continuing and happy to do this trade back and forth. Bangkok Titan is going to be head and span. I'm sure it's happened with some of the games today. Only hit 2 of the
Get-
sides,
no, I
not
can't.
3 just yet. That's going to be a second tower hit.
Yep.
Earth does not have his ultimate available,
Yes.
but guess who does? Javier, but it doesn't matter because Earth picks up the kill by himself anyway.
Little too cocky from you are all bad.
Yeah,
Like
going
Mark
a little
Luke's
too
saying
far.
in chat.
Well, the last outer tower, 4 icebreakers might fall here, and it will pretty quickly here. That's 3 towers they've taken in just as many minutes here, and they've made their goal lead just a little bit less than 5,000 here. Strong showing so far from Flytlez Gamers, and even though they came out looking decent last week, icebreakers came out looking magnificent,
Yeah.
and so Flytless Gamers just able to show that last week was just a bit sloppy, and that they're actually a really strong team here if they can take down icebreakers.
Yeah, well, the Earth is just playing phenomenal on Malphite. I really think that he's the one that's actually carrying this game, even though IVR is 2-0. But just the fact that Malphite's such a presence, and he's shut down Cody on Fiora, because you know how Fiora is going to be, one of those champions that's just ridiculous. I mean, like you said, it's what banned every game now because the Fiora is just stupid. But just the fact that he can kind of take her out of the game, sort of. We'll have to see if this teleport and this fight that comes up will make any impact with that, but
Absolutely.
ults are up.
Ults are up. Look at the ward coverage, too. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Yeah.
Flightless.
Oh, especially in their top side of the
Oh, there's a
base.
good 3-man ultimate from the Earth. If we're going to fight this one, Vier's going to dive in onto the back line, but are they going to be able to get to Draximus in time? He's still trying to just kite this one in the way, but he's going to get tackled too heavily now as the entire back line is just completely gone now from Icebreakers. You're all bad. Just trying to get on a Jinx at the same time, and Davemon's still alive. This fight is still going, and it looks like this actually turned out in Icebreaker's
There's
favor
that
here,
Fiora.
as the 2 top lane opponents are going to fight this one out in the end, and a triple kill comes in for Davemon out of nowhere. And so it looked like it had initially gone
Well, yeah,
in
welcome to
Flightless's
League of
favor.
Fiora. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just slowly turned back around there out of nowhere in Icebreaker's favor here.
Well, plus with the burst damage from Rise, just finished his Drought of Ages, and then yeah, Fiora just now we know why. She's freaking ridiculous. I mean, we all know about it, but yeah, it's that was just. I mean, like the team fight. Yeah, it initially started out good, and no one was on Jinx at all.
Yeah.
And she was just able to hit the back line, pretty well, but it was just. I think Fiora got on her somehow. But then, as soon as you get the Fiora crit, I mean, like, the ult, making everything guaranteed to crit, like, that's just, it's so much damage, you know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
especially in this early, I mean, she's a level 9 Jinx, like, and You're All Bad's 11, too, so it's, like, that just helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Caused more
Twitch chat, they're
complications.
talking, like, how did they lose the fight with the 3-man Malfoy? Yeah, it's, right, I mean,
That's the power of Fiora right there.
Yeah.
Blood Moon Chain gonna fall. Dutra picks that one up there. And now they'll rotate where? Oh, that's where. Draximus. This
Way out
guy
of
is
here.
gonna need some insane
No
vein
man's
mechanics. No man's land is an understatement.
double lift, hello?
Oh, double lift. You can be double lift as you want to. You don't have to fight all this off. Vier picks up that one. That one's completely for free.
But the counter push mid.
Counter push mid is the retaliation here, but there's going to be a teleport coming in from Vier. Will he be able to get there and hold it off? He
Looks
actually
like they're
canceled
just,
this
base
teleport
race,
there.
boys.
Oh my goodness, that would be insane if we had a base race here, but not this
Have
early
we have
in the
we
game.
had a base race in NGG?
Yeah, there have been a couple.
There
actually.
have.
Very, very
No, I'm
rarely.
talking like serious base race, like legitimately. You know what I mean? Because like there's sometimes where they're like, oh, they'll stay for like the tower and they'll leave, but like have people like actually base raced?
Not as insane as we'd like.
Yeah.
Blood Moon Chain did get caught again. Brahms have been loving to eat some of these hooks today.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I guess it's better Braum than the 80 carry, but still, if it's for free, why even you get hooked?
Yeah, so he got hooked there a little bit, but they weren't able to engage on him too much. But he did have to burn the ultimate there to just escape. Now they're going to try to do the same thing onto a Malphite here. Davemon's going to get caught out a bit. Fierre's just going to jump on him. That should be a quick Davemon kill, and it will be. He'll get shut down awfully quick. He will go ahead and finish his Seraph's Embrace, though.
And that's the thing. They need to like do these fights without Fiora, just because of how freaking ridiculous Fiora is. I mean, you saw that right there. The catch potential that they've got is
insane.
it's really good. So, and plus with Malphite leading the way, he's not afraid to pull the trigger.
Not even a little bit. But look at this, too. They're just going to go ahead and force this inhibitor tower down. You're
Yeah,
all
it's gonna
bad is
force
still
Fiora to
up
get
on
back,
the top
yeah.
outer tower, and she's just going to go ahead and take that one. But now she's back. The inhibitor tower has fallen down. 20 minutes even here. Icebreakers is on their back foot again after just being up in that last series there. But now they're going to go ahead and have to be backpedaling here after that fight.
Yeah, I mean Fiora's so strong. Davemon, he's still pretty strong too. But yeah, I think what's their team name? I totally blanked.
Is your excuse
It's-
me, Flytlez Gamers?
Flytlez Gamer. Yeah, I mean, I still think they're playing a pretty solid game though.
Absolutely.
All around they're doing well, and the Earth is definitely leading. I mean, his scoreline, look at it, it's not flashy. 115. It's not like, I mean, he has the most CS on the team. Not flashy, but he's really the one that's creating all this pressure and being just a presence. He's looking like he's gonna go for. I wonder if that's another Abyssal Scepter. They're gonna go double with that Blasting Wand and Megatron.
Maybe. Still a remnants of a Frozen Heart, but since he's doing so well and so far, he'd get some magic resist in there.
Yeah.
Might as well get a tad bit of damage himself as well. Maybe that's the route he's going for. We'll find out in just a few moments as he continues to get some more gold.
Yeah.
But we're at that 21-minute point. We're at that mid-game lull as well, where teams are trying to figure it out. But Flytless Gamers, 5,000 gold lead. They're just going to go for a Baron here. Look at this. They're actually going to push bottom
side, yeah.
Might as well go ahead and push it. Pings are coming down onto it, and it is going to be spotted out here.
I feel like they're just too late.
The question is,
well
can they get there? Maybe, I don't know. Can Ramu get there in time? Can Ramu pull a Bistro? We'll have to see. I don't think so. This Baron is going to go down. And completely for free, just for one tower. Big miscommunication.
Yeah,
big misplay from
still wondering why all three of the bot laners from Icebreakers roamed back mid. They definitely could have taken that second outer tower. They knew Baron was gone. There's no way that, by that time. I know they probably want to protect that inhibitor. I know they do want to protect that inhibitor, but you could have at least taken that outer tower.
Absolutely. You're all bad is actually going to go ahead and recall here from the top lane as well to try to defend this inhibitor. Will they be able to defend it is the question, though. King's Rockets have such a nice range to be able to get back there. Slappy Stupid's going to take some damage here. Brahm's going to try to initiate something. Will they follow up on this is the question? Yes, they will. Ram's going to get in the back line. Cataclysm goes down to nobody, though. Now, Jacksmith is trying to cut as best as he can, but Javier is so strong now. Jacksmith is actually still alive in the back line. Some good vein play from Icebreakers is usually what happens, but Dutro's going to get on the back line as well. You're all bad's going to end up falling here, and Davemon's trying to run for his life as well. Will be able to escape with his life, but just barely. He's going to try to hold this. Could they take this game right now with the Baron here? They might try to go for it here.
Yeah.
The first tower is going to be poked down just a bit here. It's at half health. Davemon might get jumped on by Dutro, and he will fall down. It's an ace here. This could be the game already. 10 seconds left. 6 seconds now on the Ramu. Ramu can get out here and try if he can. Blood Moon Chain might be able to get out there as well, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time. Ramu's up. Can he defend the base in time? There's only 3 seconds left for Blood Moon Chain on Braum, but that's it. That's the game over. Flytless Gamers take this in 23 minutes. What an upset, and what a shocker that game is right there.
Yeah, Duke Draw and Lee Sin in that last team fight, I think he was the MVP in that final one. He was able to get onto Draximus's Vayne, and like we were talking about Draximus's Vayne doing so well in the farm department, but just couldn't transition that into like actual kills and actual gold and start actually doing a lot of damage. And plus they went with a static shiv for more of the wave clear. But yeah, Duke Draw did really well in that final team fight. Was able to get onto Draximus, take her out, and then from there started cleaning up the rest of the team. Got that kill on Davemon, which pretty much sealed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the question that kind of comes off of this too is, generally speaking, you see a 23-minute victory and you think it's a stomp. When you see this kind of a victory, you think to the type of game that we saw when Team Blue Milk played Supernova, and it was just a rolled over victory. That was it. It wasn't necessarily a rollover victory. No. Icebreakers didn't go down like roll over on the back and that was it. Well, in my opinion, that almost bodes better for Flytless Gamers, because that shows that Icebreakers was a good team, but it just means that Flytless was just better. You know what I mean? It's not like a mismatch. It's more just like hey, we're just better than you. Sorry.
Well, plus they're running with the sub support, and then Ramu that game just wasn't really on par with what Duke Dro was doing. And then that Baron call or whatever. I mean, that was just
a great call.
And they just completely out of position. There was 3 in the bottom lane. They should have at least tried to push some advantage down there, maybe try to do something. I understand that you have the mid inhibitor open, but what are you accomplishing by running mid to check if Baron's still there? It's just I just don't feel like it was worth it to try to do that. And yeah, I feel like they just got out rotated. And that sometimes it happens, like you said, it's not like a clean stomp or anything. But sometimes you don't even need to just completely dominate. You just need to out rotate and just outplay in general. Without, stomping, as he termed it.
Yeah, absolutely.